The Bitcoin madness is upon us. So is the stock market. They're both going to climax into the abyss above here, and they're going to melt up like some kind of psycho case. Look at this. Market's teetering on new highs. It's just mind-blowing. You can't stop this thing. I'd say 40,000 on down here. This thing's just hell-bent. Have you ever in your life seen him? This is going to make history here. All-time highs in the stock market. People are buying oil like they're never going to have any more. We're in the vacuum there. Gold, technically, on the monthly, is in this giant triangle, but the resolution of that may be a year and a half from now. And that would just be a retest. This is $100 handles on these big, clear, $10 between gold. So, but I would range trade it. So somebody, I don't know if it's a real person, asking that they wanted to invest in Forex or Bitcoin. I don't know if you could really invest in Forex because you kind of got to pick a direction there. I suppose when you say invest, you're going to go long. But Bitcoin, there's only one instrument there, Bitcoin, you know. Forex is like, you don't really invest. You just, I guess, pick a currency. So you'd be picking a currency, I suppose, if you have some business you're running and you want to offset. You know, this whole point of it is to, like futures are for the farmers, you know, trying to offset the risk. That's how you sell. You go short corn, you know, so you can act like a farmer. They're letting you act as if you're a farmer, basically. That's the trick. I got a varmint here. So yeah, place is under attack right now. So the market, the gold thing, yeah, I suppose, you know, but gosh, I'm just kind of want to get into cash. Like I said, I'm not an investor. I wouldn't know. That mindset's that's like getting married or something. That's pretty serious. Like you're in. It's up, it's down, you're in. Unless you're going to get divorced, right? That's the best part about getting married. So, I don't know. That's why it's a trade. I mean, if you're a trader, then you're just going to go in and out, up and down, right? You're just kind of like a slut. And you're not really going to get married. So if you want to invest in something, how can I get started investing in... You hear these ads on the radio. Okay, here. If you really want to do that, okay, just open an account and tell your broker every time it's down, $2,000, buy me some until I run out of money. Just keep buying every time. So if Bitcoin's here at 64, okay, say it's $64,000 a coin, right? Just put orders in it, $2,000 apart, all the way down to like $1,000, or when you run out of money. So you can't lose if you don't have leverage on this trade. So imagine you're really buying Bitcoins, and you're just, okay, well, just fucking buy it 62, 60. If you're very aggressive, you buy every $1,000 all the way down. That would be, you know, whatever money you got. But you're buying, if you actually, you don't have to, you could just buy like a tenth of a coin here, right? You don't have to buy a whole fucking Bitcoin here. I'm not talking like that. I mean, it's ridiculous. You just buy a little bit, right? So you just maybe buy like $20 of Bitcoin right now. But then when it gets to, right, you have this, you're going to buy point so-and-so Bitcoins when the price gets down to, I'm not saying you could buy the actual, just like you wouldn't trade the Dow Jones actual average index, right? You would actually have to buy a whole fucking standard lot of the Dow Jones. Do you really have to buy that big? But see, if you're out going to do that, then what are you asking me? I mean, you must have a lot of money. So the guy that's trading crude over there in Russia, does he fucking care? He's an investor. He's not trading it, or he's inside this giant fundamental shift that's going to take like 2 years to play out. Well, not everybody's got that kind of time, you know, and not everybody's got those kind of patience. So there's a whole nother issue there. But yeah, you say investing, and that's just a mindset of, it's not like, I mean, the people say, what is the rate of return? Is that per year or per 10 years? So if you say 10 years, like a bond market is stable, supposedly, and you would get your money. And you get your face value back, plus the interest that you've gotten paid, right? And so that's the bond market is, people trade options on that, everything. But yeah, I don't know. You just have to figure out whether you need the money that bad. So if you're trying to make money as a trader, it's different than an investor, because an investor kind of sit back kind of attitude, right? Sit back, I got this, got a little bit there, I got a little there. And if this thing peaks, I could sell that, and I could park that money. And that's why you have a portfolio, right? Because you have like 10 things in it, and 2 of them you dropped out because they peaked, and you're like, we sell my Bitcoin today, and I put sell limits up there at 70. So the same thing on the sell side. If you're going to trade on margins, so if you're going to open a trading account, then you could sell the Bitcoin that you don't have, right? So I suppose if you're building Bitcoins on some computer somewhere, but yeah, you could expect this thing to spike up here because people the heads explode up here, And they just, unbeknownst to me, although this guy made a comment that today they just started trading this fucker in New York. So I thought they were trading Chicago. It's a CME, and maybe not going to trade it. They do that with crude oil. They have 2 contracts, a mini contract over the CME, and then they have the big contract in New York. New York silver, New York gold's different than these little baby. When I used to trade the commodities, they gave you a choice. If you wanted to trade at a Kansas City exchange, it was cheap as hell, but nobody traded there. Like, it's just fucking end of the quote day. It was just like there was no candlestick. It was just a dot, what was the closing price? Red wheat out of Kansas or something. Really, who's trading on this exchange? So the mini contracts are kind of thin, and but they're cheaper, right? Just naturally. So Bitcoin's screaming north, so is the Dow Jones is just freaking out here. We're like in the same position, amazingly, as Bitcoin right now. Just right along the edge here, just waiting to take out this high and just go nuts, right? And this is going to be something else. This week will be crazy. I guess somebody said on Friday they're supposed to come out with some digital data on the elections, and just the wheels just coming off. It's just hilarious stuff. When Southwest said fuck you to the Biden administration, you kind of knew that, there you go. Merry Christmas. So there'll be no shortages. I love how these people just hype this shit. It cracks me up. So people's head comes unwrapped there too, all the financial people, and oh my God, it's the end of the world. Well, so that's why Bitcoin's here, right? This is why the Dow Jones is here. This is why people, and it's probably the GameStop people and all those, what do you call them? The ape army's probably driving this fucking Dow right off of fucking Northern Cliff into the 40,000, 42,000. Everybody's rich, but they can't have their treadmills. So everybody's, it depends who's getting smashed. So the nerds kind of cleaned up, like the Amazon, the people that have inventory controls, and they can do really the logistics, ship stuff around. Those people really are, the gauge of the cost of doing business, because how much does it cost to ship a barrel of oil? So if you got oil, you shut down the pipeline here, you're just going to have that kind of price issue. But how do you explain the Dow Jones? I mean, is it just going to melt up? like it did 2 years ago. I mean, watch this thing here. You just knew when you took this out. You just had to know it was going to be a fucking bloodbath for these bears. They just get their head handed to them. Only because the inversion here is too much to take. That this is Corona coming in, and here's the climax of Corona. When you take that out, you see this opening at the beginning of the year. Comes back to here, you're just like, wow. Now, to me, this is just the fact that there is the new regime hasn't done anything to kill all of the tax deductions and all of the stuff built into the system. This is still all Trump, this whole thing. Because the structures are all still there. All the executive order bullshit didn't affect this. So that's the run up here. But when do people say, you know what? The air's getting kind of thin up here. What do you think? And if this doesn't prove to be support one day, and then it is going to be a bloodbath. And if you ever take out this, call me, because that'll be like, call Alan. When you take this out, oh my God! If you ever even get near that, right? So if you ever came down to like here, down to 618 down here, can you imagine? So I don't know. You're just going in uncharted water. It is bizarre, man. It's scary if you're going to be a big term investor. If you're trading it, it's just fun to watch. But if you're going to investor, oh God, if I was in stocks right now, I'd be getting out. I mean, I don't care how high it goes. I'd be like, you kidding up here, right? Like anything above the Corona crash, for the pre-Corona crash, that high, anything above that is just like bonus money. Especially if you did not sell here. If this didn't scare you out of the market, a weekly chart dropping like a rock. You need some real big, a lot of mental armor to stand up to that sell-off. Can you imagine? Oh, stock, those investors is cringing about that. Now look at this monthly chart. It's just mind-boggling shit. The next sell-off has to be brutal. At this price level, I mean, what's going on here? Is this just inflation of stocks? I always think, well, it must just be an inflation of the stock market. Isn't the stock market really priced in dollars in the end? So, this stuff's all overbid. It's out of control. So this would be crazy. This would be a crazy end of the year wrap up. It's all spiky stuff. Look at this thing coming into Tuesday. I'm coming into Wednesday. It's knocking on heaven's door for these fucking Bitcoinists. Look at this thing. We're about $5 from the all-time highs. So I think tonight we could pop through that. Look at this thing. What a stampede. Yeah, you can have your Bitcoins. It's New York Exchange. They're trading them there. So this reminds me of Facebook. Opening a Facebook on the, I think it's traded at $30, right? So I'm watching it live on TV. They got a ticker running of it, Big blowing up fucking tick chart. They're broadcasting on cable. CNBC or something, Financial News Network. And so they run this thing, and the guy comes in and says, Facebook's not allowed to be bid down today. I'm like, what? Yep, you can only buy it, you can't sell it. So I'm watching this tick chart bobbing at like $30.18, $30.15. Like, he was right. I think it's go to 29, 28. Some guy's about to try to take it down. I'm not gonna play that game. It's so regulated. And then I saw an article about Bitcoin. They're gonna trade at the New York Exchange. Well, we're kind of worried about it being kind of volatile. Huh, what? So it's okay for crude oil to be out of fucking control. Well, there actually are limits. I think $10 a day. What is it? Limit up. It was the Gulf War is limit up fucking 4 days in a row. It's up $40. It's fucking nuts. So maybe that's where we're going. Can't make any more Bitcoins, if you can't get your chips, see? Price of electricity's going up. Let's buy that Bitcoin. I just can't even, I wouldn't even get into a fucking margin account at this price. I got sell limits all the way up here. I'm fucking chasing this shit. You retarded? Look at this 1 week chart. Fucking nuts. Look at the daily. It's already trapped in the daily. We just started trading that New York Stock Exchange. You're fucking real. What are you, fucking wearing a mask while you're trading this shit now? Is that the next thing? Yeah, we do mask up and trade Bitcoin down here, come to think of it. Look at the fucking charts at -1,000 down here, don't know what to do. Poor Bitcoin people. If you're buying Bitcoin right here, you're out of your fucking mind. This price. So no, I wouldn't invest in Bitcoin today. I'd put my buy limit down here somewhere at a reasonable price. Can you imagine? I'll buy it at 55. Call me when it's back to 37. Call me, Alan. Call me and call Alan after you call me. Oh, Bitcoin. What a joke. True hell, what a joke. Hey, listen. If I can't get my Lego, I ain't going to need no oil to go in it, so... These are ridiculous prices. These papers are just all excited. Look at the pound against the yen. You want to talk about some punishment here. Look at this thing. 1 month straight up. There's 100 pip bounces here. In 1 day, this thing goes up that much. Wow. That's a move. 150 pips in 1 day. Oh, the trend traders got to jump on that doji, though. At least the 4 hour, you get a pullback. So if you just buy the pullbacks in the 4 hour, you think you'd be safe. But then again, you got that problem, Like, how tight a stop do you run here? You got to run about a 50 pip stop. 25 to 50 on this copy. On the 4 hour chart, that's got to be your stop. Yeah. Really waiting for those quiet sessions. Here's the kind of weekly view. Yeah, I'm already short up here, I think. Anything above that fractal, I'm short back to this, so that the scalp is over. It's over. He kind of had to cash out when he came ripping back here. It's 50 pips. You made him almost 50 pips off of that. He sold up into it off of that. And now I guess people are buying it. But if I'm not in, if I'm flat, I'm putting buy limits down here into all the way down into the future. So right here, I just come and grab my trusty. You just put 8 hour tickets in. So, here's a bad ratio trade. Higher probability of winning, though. Some guy was talking about that. So if you put a buy limit down here, your stop is down here, more likely for you to get filled on this and cash out. So even here, that's a reasonable trade. The market comes down to here, and then it goes to there. That's not asking too much. So that's why I go for the... Here's a bad ratio trade, but more likely to make money. See, if I sell here, I know I can make 8 pips with a 12 pip stop. Like up here. Just anywhere up here. I know it's a bad ratio, but we could put a good ratio on top of it. So here's 13 to make 33, but it's a big target, so that's the problem. So I like buying down here. And just keep stacking them up down here, because to me, if it comes down here, it's like it's going to get quiet. I can run a tight stop down here. Up here at the top, I got to kind of run a bad ratio here to the scalp because it could go ballistic. If we ever come flying back above here, it's just going to go nuts. I think there's more drama in the vacuum. Of course, we already probed in there. So we've already popped up there once. But this is the guppy, so this is the pound yen. You really have to think wide. It might be too tight to stop. That broker's giving you 2 pips. So with the commissions, it's about 2.5 pip spread. With the commissions, about 2.5. But this thing rips. People love trading it because it just rips your face off. Like, it looks like it's going to pounce up now. But I'll sell into that. So here's a good ratio, 10 to make 20. That's better than break even. So put clusters up there, and you might get filled tonight. That's really out of control. Same here. I don't have any oil scripts, I don't think. Here, I got stuff for this. Here, let's sell this one as it goes up. This is the other yen pair. I'll put some bad ratios on top of that. Let's see. So here's your classic 20 pip stop to make 20 pips. I don't know if these will fill. I'd probably have to make these last all day up here. So I put a balanced diet. Yeah, here's a good ratio, 12 to make 28. 12 to make 28. But I am looking for a blast up here into just Insaneville, so. But also on the other side, I got robots in here helping me trade too. But that's why I think this is easier than the robot. I could just say, well, this looks like a sweet area to get in. For the next 8 hours, let's go to the daily scripts. I don't want to have to redo this, so. I thought I had some days, 12 hours in here. I think I do. I guess not. Looks like the limit is 8 hours. Okay, then we'll just trade really close then. So we'll trade close to the market since it lasts for 8 hours. Oh, I think I reached my limit. So I reached my limit of tickets there. And now the robot will be choked out. He won't be able to put a ticket in until one of these things disappears in 8 hours from now. So we lay all those tickets in there and just walk away. That's my trading style. Same thing here. If I had a Bitcoin script, which I actually do have a couple baby ones, I would just put buy limits down here and sell limits above and just walk away. So once you take out this, so you can make a run of 10,000 tonight because people are going to lose their mind up here. Seriously, if this is really, they started trading it today in New York City, so it could go nuts, right? I'm sure it'd be hard getting a fill too. I know last time the market went berserk, I was just trying to do a transaction and it said, oh, you're going to have to wait. You better take a seat there, buddy. It'll take a while to fill it out. Because every goober in the world was jumping on this train here, so this should be a riot. I can't wait to see this thing pop its head off here. We go along like some fool here at 68,000, and boo-hoo-hoo if it comes back to 20,000, I'll be, oh man, a suicide watch. You gotta be careful. Be careful of these trades here. We don't have to run a suicide watch on your cell. Your straight jacket. Yeah, it's back to 14th. I should put buy limits at 20,000, like I told you. If we just put buy limits at 20,000, we would have picked up that vicious spike coming back. They outlawed Bitcoin all over the planet. Oh my God. Turns out that Bitcoin is the virus. Oh my God, no. Yeah, it's a booster shot. This is going to get a booster shot tonight, this thing from the New York Exchange. This will be a riot.